Hi, Jeff Rhodes here again with another video on Microsoft 365, in particular Power Automate and SharePoint today. And one of the things I really like about my YouTube channel is the interaction we get from people who watch the video and then make comments or questions. And that's what we're going to do today. So you can see one of the videos that been fairly popular over the years is this copying Microsoft Forms attachment to a SharePoint list using Power Automate. And yesterday, Motec Consulting came back and said, hey, they liked it, but what we've lost when we attach it to a SharePoint list item is the ability to get co-authoring and version control and so forth. And Motec was exactly right. And see, I did the note here is if we wanted to preserve versioning and so forth, we need to write it to a SharePoint document library instead. So I thought, hey, why don't we go ahead and show how to do that? So let's spend a minute and just show what we did the last time. So what we have in SharePoint is that a simple form, and these first two is kind of while we were building it, and then 3 and 4 were grabbing it, filling in the data from the form and then editing or then adding the attachment. So here we added one called Jeff Senior Picture, and then the last one we put 3 different attachments. So I recommend watching that video if that's of interest to you. And we're going to use a similar technique, but what we want to try to do instead is I'm going to come over to this document library and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'll just call it attachments. Probably you'd want to limit it by form, so why don't we say I'll just say form 1 for now. And the idea is we'll put that in there, but let's build up a SharePoint list to hold it. So we're going to come up to Site Contents, do a new list, and we'll say blank list. Why don't I just say Form 1? We'll just kind of go with that. Submissions. And normally I use the advanced list settings, so I'll go ahead and do that here. Just to see what I want to do, kind of like I did in the last video, is I'm going to change this to email. It's a single line of text, so that'll tell us who submitted it. And we'll create a column and call it description, multiple lines of text, and plain text. And last time that's pretty much all that we did because we put it on the attachments. But here what we'd like to do is, and I haven't even tried this yet, but we're going to try to hyperlink to it. So let's see if we can get that to work. So we're just going to say, well, and actually we do have a bit of a problem because we could have multiple lines per per item, so we can't really do a hyperlink column. So let's do this for now, because you probably want to, maybe I'll limit, actually that's what I'll do. Let's limit it to 3 attachments. And so we'll just say file link 1, file link 2, and file link 3. Alright, you can see I kind of designed this stuff on the fly. It's kind of the way I do things, so we'll see if it works out. And let's go over to forms. As we've talked about many times, I like to make group forms so they're stored in SharePoint, not stored in OneDrive. So that's key to this whole thing. So we'll do a new group form. I don't need Copilot to help us in this case. So let's just call this, since I said everything form 1, why don't I say form 1 add attachments. And I already know who they are, so I'm just going to make this please describe files. I want this to be long answer and required. And then I want to add upload files, and I'll say please add up to 3 files, and I'll say file limit 3, like that. Then I want to go over to settings, make sure I'm recording the name here. That's how I get the email, and that's pretty much it. So let's collect responses, and I'm going to shorten this and copy it, put that into a new email, because what I'm going to need from Power Automate is this ID right there. Make sure I got it. Kind of scrolled up, but I think I did. Yeah. All right, so let's go over to Power Automate. So I'm going to create an automated cloud flow. I'm going to call it video copy forms attachments to document library. So kind of a long one, but that's right. And the trigger is a new form, so we'll do that fine. And it's going to do the new designer, which I like quite a bit. Notice that it won't help me with these because it's a group form, so that's why I need to paste in the ID like that. And then I need a new item, and I'll say forms, and get the response details. Same thing here. And now it should give me that response. There we go. And then what I need to do next, because I need to get some JSON and so forth, but I'll get to that in a second. We're going to create the SharePoint item. So I'll type in SharePoint, see more, create item. And I need to find the right one. I believe it's that one. We'll know if I see the Form 1 list. There we go, Form 1 submissions. And I say show all. So now I get to see the form. So I got the responder's email. I've got the description. Please describe the files. And I can't do these links yet. So I'll just leave that for now. So what I need to do now is I need to check if there's any attachments. So I'm going to go control condition, and I'll say check if attachments. So what I do is I find the question, so please add up to 3 files if it's not equal to blank. Okay, so if it's blank, then we don't do anything. If it's true, though, and this is kind of the hardest part of the whole thing, is I want to come up here and compose. And I'm just going to change this to say get JSON attachment, like that. And so what I want to do is I want to get that same thing. I say get the response detail. Please add up to 3 files like that. And what I want to do is I'm going to need that format in a minute. So I save it here. And now that it's saved, I go back. I go into this form and I go ahead and just fill it out. Remember, I've got it ready. So I'm just going to say test upload of files. And for now, I'll just add 1 file. So let me find my pictures. There's a picture of me running the Air Force Academy 10K from last year. We'll try another one in a minute. All right, and let's go back to Power Automate. Reload. Succeeded, good. Notice that we went there, and what we want is this JSON, JavaScript object notation, if you're not familiar with that term. So let's paste it in to Notepad, and we'll see it gets kind of cleaned up a little bit, but it basically looks like, keys and values. So it kind of looks, let's do the next line. Oops, yeah. So it gets on its own line, but notice that it has the link to the question. And by the way, let's do that for a minute because it is kind of interesting to look at. So let's go back to our SharePoint document library. First, let's just make sure that the answer got there, and it did. As test upload of files. So that was good. But let's also go to documents, and we see we don't have anything in our new one yet, but where it finds it goes to apps, Microsoft Forms. There's that Form 1 add attachments question, and then it has the file that I just uploaded. And that's what's in that path in the JSON right there. See how it's shared documents, apps, blah, blah, blah. There. And it has all that stuff. So anyway, I've copied that. So let's go back to Power Automate. So let's edit this flow. And I'm going to add another action, and I'm going to call it Parse JSON. And what I want to do is I'm going to grab the JSON that we just did. So I'm going to grab this outputs. And then it says schema. And I'm going to use the sample payload. Oh, and I thought I pasted that. Oh, let's go back. I can get it from Notepad. Shouldn't matter that I put a hard return in there. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up. Done. Yeah, there we go. See, it's nice and pretty now. So it's figured out that I've got these various information, properties, the name and the link. And it's this name that's going to be really important coming through. Okay. So now we got a loop because, again, we can get up to 3 attachments. And this is where we'll start diverting a little bit from the previous video. So we're going to go to Control, and we're going to say Apply to each. And I'm going to say Loop through attachments. And what we want to do is alright, so what we've got to work with is our parse JSON and the output. So we're going to use the body right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can write that to SharePoint. So what we need to do first is we need to get our hands on that file. The one that Forms wrote for us automatically. So we're going to go SharePoint. And the only thing I don't really like about the new one is finding the all the SharePoint, finding all the actions inside. But I can do search in the browser itself. So I'm going to say file content. So we want get file content using path. That's the one we want. So we're going to look for our site, and then we're going to want to dynamically build the path because we don't want to hard code it, but to get the structure we'll hard code it. So we're going to go shared documents, and that's why we went and looked. So we got apps, we got Microsoft Forms, we got Form 1 add attachment, we've got question, and we've got the name like that. And so this is the hard part that's hard coded to, the one we just answered. So we don't really want that. So we're going to leave that there and then click the little lightning bolt and go up there and get the name. This one says body name instead of name, but hopefully it still works like that. I guess we'll find out shortly. And we want to leave this infer content path and so forth. Good. And then what we want to do is, again, we want to go to SharePoint. We want to see if we can write that file. So we want to create file. Again, we want that path. So we want to go shared documents to the folder that we want. Let's see, shared file. There we go. I need to click on it. So that's the folder, and then now we need the name of the file. So we'll just grab the same name that we had before. And then what we need for the content path is the one that we read. So that's where we read it from, this get file content using path. And then what we need to do, actually we probably need some sort of counter. I didn't really think about this part through because we need file 1, file 2, file 3, as files as far as the link here. So why don't we do this? Let's add a variable here. So we'll initialize variable and we'll just call it var link number. And we're going to make it integer. And we'll give it an initial value of 0. What I like to do is copy that and say var link number like that. There we go. And then what we'll do after we've created the file, we'll go ahead and increment the link number. So we can type in variable, increment, I think that's the only one, yeah, so it's an increment variable. I don't actually use it that much, so hopefully we'll find out. I'm thinking that we increment it by 1. And then, actually I like to say increment var link number so we can see what it's doing. And then let's do a switch. So we'll say write appropriate file link column. So we're going to do it on the var link number. And default, I guess the default we'll do as number 1. So we'll do that one first. So we'll say, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to SharePoint. And let's search for update. Sorry, update item. So let's come over here, get that same one, get that same Form 1 submissions. Now we need to tell it which item to update. So we got to go all the way back to when we created the item and pick that one. And then what we're going to do is file link 1. That should be, and we got to find it here. We got to figure out if we can find the link. And we got more. So let's go. Oh, so hopefully it's the path here. So we'll try that. Like I said, I haven't tried this yet. But we'll copy that and we'll just say update. And we'll say file link 1. Like that. I'm going to copy that. Or actually I won't, because we're going to use the clipboard for something else in a minute. So let's give another variable. So that we're going to say that's default for number 1. So we'll say if number 2, then this is one of the things I love now is we can copy action and paste action. So we'll say update file link 2. Oops. And just cut this and put it on file link 2. So that looks decent. Let's change this. So we'll say case 2. Let's see if I can, yeah, see I can't write copy that one unfortunately. But we'll do one more. We'll say case 3. And let's copy this again. Paste, whoops, there it went. Paste in action. We'll update file link 3. And we'll cut that out, put it 3. So let's see if that works. Like I said, I haven't tested this yet, so could be we need to do some adjustments. We will find out shortly. Wait for that to save. Now let's go back to our form. So I'm going to say test with 3 files. And I'll grab that one. Grab that one. And let's just try and look at my document, see if I can find a PDF file. Not sure what this one is. See if I can go to travel. Not sure where another file is right now. Alright, let's go back. Don't want to delay it. We'll just grab another picture. After all, who knows what this image is. Good enough. Alright, let's submit it. Let's go look at our flow first. So we'll reload that. It's running, so I always think it's kind of fun to watch it as it runs. So it's going through. So it's got 1 of 3. So that's a good sign. So it's figuring out that we have the attachments. Oh, looks like we got an error somewhere. So right appropriate. Let's see. Okay, so the runtime value shared documents does not have the expected format. So that's kind of interesting. So we really didn't know what that was going to look like. But it looks like it's because we didn't put the HTTP part on the front. So it just started with shared documents. So let's try adding the front on there. Yeah, so that's probably why it took so long and failed. So let's try this again. If that isn't it, we'll just have to update that, but we'll put this on the front. And I believe that had a slash on it, but we'll have to look. I could maybe be missing a forward slash here, but let's try all three of these. And the good news is I shouldn't have to fill out the form again. Now that we have an error, I can just resubmit the last one, so that'll be nice. So let's put that in there so we don't have to go fill it out and select things again. So let's save. All right, test manually. I'm taking a minute to just test, so let me pause for a second. All right, well, still waiting for it, so I'm going to go ahead and go out of that. Looks like I couldn't retest that, but that's okay. We'll just submit another one. Test with more files. And while I was waiting, I did a look at that other file. It was just a set of tickets, so I will put a PDF in here as well. Over in Documents. Grab that too. And let's submit. So let's go. Oh, there it was. Failed. That's the one that didn't work. It's running, so let's go in and see what happens this time. So it's coming in, it's trying to loop through the attachments. Let's see if it gets an error this time or not. Ah, that's good. It updated the link. Let's see if it went to the second one. Yeah, case 2, so it incremented that. So I guess my increment did work how we want, and then it went to case 3. So looks promising. Let's go back here and see if it put it in. Oh, that's a good sign. So it did write those files in there. Notice how it's going to put a new, a number 1 and a number 2 as I get multiple copies, so it takes care of that for us, which is nice. Let's go back to the Form 1 submissions. Oh, it's interesting that it gave us the URLs. Fine, there we go. I'm not sure why number 3 didn't work, though. That's interesting. So there's number 2. And this one should work, but it's not a hyperlink for whatever reason. Yep, there's my tickets. So interesting. Well, I'm not sure the answer on that, but let's go see if we can. Well, you can see how I did try to put that, without the right path on there before. So let me just make sure I made that the same kind of. Oh yeah, you can see right there I didn't make it a single line of text. I should have made it a hyperlink. Oh, and I can't really change it now. That's kind of a drag. So let's rename this one. I'll delete it in a minute, but let's rename that. And we'll create a new one. This can be a little iffy. Sometimes it uses the original name of the file, you know, of a column or whatever. So let's do hyperlink. And then I'll delete this guy. Let's see. And then we really have to go, we should go in there and see if Power Automate's able to pick up the right file name or not. So we got to go to case 3 here. Yeah, it looks a little iffy there. I'm going to delete that and let's show all. Yeah, so it's kind of got this old reference here, but hopefully we can put it. I'm going to grab that path again. So I need this part. That, and then I need to grab where was that? Oh, the path. There we go. Body path, like that. And this guy, get rid of. There we go. So not too bad. So let's try it again because it didn't seem to like it. Let's make sure I save that. Yeah. Didn't seem to like it when I tried to have it redo it on the same file. So we'll just say final submission. Hopefully, you're probably tired of this by now. Let's see if we can find something else just to test it with different files here. So let's do some screenshots here. There we go. Oops. Oh, kind of showing weird things here. Oops. Kind of a strange dialogue. There we go. Maybe I'll put. Alright, there's a file. Oh, it didn't like that one. Now let's just try the same ones I did. I don't want to. Maybe that other file was too big. And actually, I've got 2 PDFs in this directory, so why don't I just do that? I'll do this one. And I've got one more PDF in here. And we'll go out and see it. So it's running. Man, we just want to come down and see if the case 3 works for us. Oh, and actually what I should have done is I should have picked a Word document. You go find. I'm going to put this on hold for a second. We'll check it. I'll find a Word document so we can show that it's versionable and editable. Oh, actually I got some sort of error here. Let's see. Oh, it looks like it's on that third one that I... Oh, looks like I got some sort of typo there. See where it says @Canyon and didn't have the URLs right there. So let's fix that real quick and then we'll test it with a Word document anyway. So let's go look here. Probably were watching that in the video. Yeah, I didn't copy that right, so it should be. Oh yeah, I can see right there that I didn't have I needed the HTTPS and all that. There we go. Should take care of that. Let's save it. I'm going to pause for a second, find a Word document in Excel or whatever that I can test. All right, I'm back. I found a Word document, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to use Copilot to make a quick, so I'll say, write me a sonnet about Power Automate. Might as well add a little fun into that. Okay, there we go. There's a sonnet about Power Automate, so I'm going to keep it and let's save it. I've got a videos directory. There it was. Now I'll say Power Automate sonnet. All right, so we can get rid of that. So let's go back to our form, and I'll say example with Office documents. And I'll upload the videos. There's our Power Automate sonnet. And there was a question results Excel ad in there. And a copy of my book screen capture. So that'll work. Let's submit there. See if I can keep it from failing this time. So it's running. There we go. All right, so it looks like it succeeded. Let's go and just check number 3 for sure. Looks like it did it. All right, let's go back to the list. There we go. So I've got the sonnet, the other one's in the JPEG. Let's open up the sonnet. It's like it downloaded that for whatever reason, so that's not entirely what I want. But let's go back, and so we can probably change that link to like make it to open into the web. I don't want to make this video any longer, but at a minimum, if we can come over here and come in, let's find the Word document. Yeah, if we do it that way, so now we can collaborate, I can add comments, I can share it, do all those kind of things. So, all right, well, hopefully that was helpful. Sure appreciate the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you've got anything you'd like to see or any questions, I'll be happy to answer and see if I can make a video on it. Thanks. Have a great day.